Dead Bodies Drop in the background. This is the CrazyPs from Hell Studios Productions. I'm Thomas Paxton.
I'm Tim Potter.
And we're here to, shoot the shit, shoot BS at each other and just talk about shit.
Goof off.
Got Amber in the background, the lovely wife, who's helping us set it up, and she's tripping over herself, killing herself. It's fine.
I'll put the other kid to sleep.
The other kid to sleep, you mean yourself?
No, Castiel woke up.
The mini woke up.
Yeah.
Well, one of the minis.
Yep. So as far as this goes, as far as topics go, we don't really have a solid, game plans for topics. Right now we're just talking, he wants to talk about politics a little bit, and we're just going to mostly talk about just random shit, basically. It's whatever comes up. But, yeah, how are you doing?
Well, it's been a good day so far. Got to get the hell out of the house, make some money. How about you?
Doing pretty good overall. It's, Saturday beforehand, we were going to go to the gym and didn't end up doing that because I had to vent a little bit because I'm your average person dealing with average woes, like working a job. Not going to get my ass fired, so it's a job. So it's a job, and it's a place where you basically go to work, you talk to people, you help as many people as you can, and then you clock out, and then you fuck off.
Right? I used to have a job like that, and then I became disabled so damn much I couldn't work anymore.
Yep. So, yeah, talk about that a little bit. What's it like to be a guy who, whenever you're at the gym and you're doing your workout sets and your legs decide that they're gonna have a mind of their own, and you end up looking like a donkey kicking your legs out? How is that like?
Actually, it's never happened like that. It's called I work out on leg day. Take 3 steps, almost fall and break the machine, and somebody next to me or myself, "Are you okay?" Dude, I'm good. This is normal. It's called leg day. And they're like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, "No. Trust me. Tomorrow I will be my legs will be so fine, I'll be able to kick a hole through a freaking cement wall. It's okay."
Yeah, see, I'm always, whenever you talk about the stories about your legs and everything, I just get this mental picture in my head of, Donkey from Shrek, and, suddenly your head is on Donkey's body instead of, the other way around, and you're, kicking your legs and everything, and so I'm imagining Shrek's gonna pop and go, "Donkey!" and then, you're gonna end up...
You know what?
Yeah,
I've actually been told once at the plastic center because I got it from their beds because it sits like this.
Yeah.
Your back's going like this, and then there's a flat part for your butt, and then your legs go back up. I've gotten up for that, and my hips are hurting, and I stand up and I kick back so hard. Or used to when they had the set up so there was room in between.
Yep.
Now it's so tight you can't really do that, so I have to walk outside to do that. But I did it once so hard, and somebody's like, "Holy shit!" I'm like, "What are you talking about, holy shit?" "That looks hard." I'm like, "Hard? That's light, dude, because I'm disabled and my legs don't work half the time." And then I remembered, oh yeah, no, when they want to work, it's 10 times normal strength.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is, so basically there's going to be times, by the way, during this podcast that I may, on habit, look back here because for me, I'm face-to-face type person, so since we're in person, he's right there, but there will be times where I'm looking at the phone to see if anybody pops in the comments, or I'll be looking at here because we got 2 different cameras running. We got recording right here in OBS, and then we've got his Twitch stream going on. So if you guys have anything to say, there's a little chat box right there. If you pop in there, and you may leave a comment or something, I'll read it out, and we'll comment on it, or he'll read it out if he wants. But since he's back there, I'm probably going to be the one reading out, so it's right there. So just letting you guys know that's what's been going on, and that was my phone dying. Anyway, so as far as this goes, one thing he talked to me about, I'm going to bend down and grab my phone. One thing he talked to me about a couple weeks ago was that we talked about politics. Just came up out of nowhere because he comes over and we hang out and stuff. And this is
Shoot the shit on Saturdays.
Yeah, it's something that I came up with was doing a podcast of some kind. This is the first episode, so if it seems a little goofy, it's because of the fact that it's our first stream episode. We're kind of getting used to the flow, and eventually, once we've gotten to maybe episode 700, we'll finally have a flow. But in the meantime, that's what that is. I have to basically give you guys background because if I just sort of jump into it, you guys will be out of the loop. So you guys will be like, "What is he talking about?" So that's why I went into that. So as far as this goes, we talked about politics a little bit, and then he piped up that he wanted to run for governor. So,
Utah.
yeah, of Utah. So tell us a bit more about that. What is your plan as governor? I know you said that you want me to be your running mate, lieutenant governor. So what is your game plan?
My game plan is to basically talk to the people I know, because I know people like my ideals, because I've been running them. Just, we need to change the school system because our kids ain't getting taught properly. And I agree with that currently, because my kids are getting taught an ass backwards way, which I got told, I think it was 2 weeks ago, which is why I brought it up, because you were having to be helped by my little brother with your college math, because they were teaching you to do it ass backwards.
Yeah,
And
I was doing
for the
Common
cursing,
Core.
but that's what I said.
We've already, dropped the F-bomb. We've dropped...
Did we already?
Yeah, we've already dropped the F-bomb. We've already said a couple different curse words. So I think it's pretty solid baseline. And according to this user's, you're going to see my face right now. Mason is 15. He says, I'm a beatboxer. That's awesome, by the way.
Nice.
Beatboxing, I can't do that myself. I tried. This was like several years ago. My friends, came over and we got really intoxicated. And out of nowhere, I just started smacking out rap verses. I'm not a rapper. I don't really pay attention to that world. But they were all rapping, and I decided to do it. And because for some reason my brain got slowed down, I could see all the rap beats flying in slow motion, and I'm the drummer. Like, at some point during one of these episodes, someone's going to fall down, and you guys are going to see my drum kit. In fact, you guys can see my drum kit right there. It's in the corner shot right there. You guys can see,
Right
like, the
behind
rack
me.
toms. Yeah, it's right by Tim's head. So I can see beats, like, as they, like, it's kind of weird because when you're, like, drunk or high or whatever, like, you can see, like, it's like music score kind of for me. And so I was like seeing like the slowed down current of beats, and I was like hitting those beats like, crazy in my head, and it was coming out of my mouth. So my friends got really impressed. They're like, dude, you should be a rapper. And I'm like, no. And they're like, you should be a rapper, dude. You'd be good at it. And I'm like, nah, fuck that. So
You'd be the bald Eminem.
yeah, that's what they told me, and I'm like, isn't Eminem already bald? But anyway, so basically, that's what that is. But yeah, so now we've talked about that a little bit. We'll carry on more. But what is your game plan? You said that because of the fact that your little brother and Nephi was helping me with Common Core a little bit more about that.
Yeah, because I don't like the way that they're teaching the math now, and the way they've kind of slowed down all the teaching in school, because I see it through my son, how they've kind of, instead of going forward like they used to with me, but the issue I had with school is not the same issue my son, well, now it's the same issue my son's having, but he's having twice as hard an issue. It's because, yes, we're going to go at this speed. No. We need to go back to the way it used to be in the 80s and the 90s, where it was faster, and those who could keep up move forward or get advanced to like AP Math or AP History, depending on what your forte is in school.
Yeah.
Some AP Science. I would have been great at that, but the way they taught science, because I grew up mostly in my school years in Oklahoma, and that was kind of slow for me, because I'm the fastest learner in the classroom, and I'm in algebra. Okay, senior year high school, algebra 3, I'm falling asleep, but yet I'm helping 5 to 6 people in the classroom learn the stuff the teacher taught that day, even though I slept most of the class.
Yeah.
Because it was instant, okay, I know what he's taking. Okay, I already see the answer. I'm going to take a nap. But that was me for most of my high school career. It's like, okay, y'all are going like super slow. That was me in science too, because science and math, how well they work together, that was just how I did it.
Yeah.
And I want to improve that, but I also want to improve the way that half of the buildings, they're ADA approved accessibility, but they're not really full ADA because they don't work for every disability.
Yeah.
I know that personally, because when I'm having a bad day walking, it's like, okay, where is the elevator? We don't have an elevator in this building. Oh, then that's not ADA approved. You're supposed to be able to let anybody come in. And if a person can't get to the second floor, or third floor, depending on the buildings, that doesn't help anybody. And being disabled, some of the stuff I've learned, and I know also the way, all this stuff I heard growing up, well, we need to change the system. It doesn't work for middle class. It only works for the rich. the taxes, and I'm like, well, let's take the taxes down, and no offense, they just up the governor's pay from, I think it was 120 to 150 this last year, just
something around
passed.
that, yeah.
And no offense, it doesn't need to be that high. Because for also, I found out while looking up all this stuff to run for governor, I gotta pay $50 for the filing fee, no big. And then I gotta pay an eighth of my income, which would be $150 a year, to run for just to put my name on the ballot. Not even to fully run, just to, okay, we'll put your name on the ballot. It's like, well, what the heck? So I gotta pay, and if I'm running with you, that because the lieutenant governor is just $30,000 cheaper a year for the income, we'd end up having to pay $40,000 plus $50. Okay, 40 grand, so 4,000 or $40,100. Okay, the $100 I can cover. That's no big. But the 40 grand, it's like, that's outrageous.
Yeah, it's basically my yearly income. It's my salary.
Yeah, that's
it's like
yours,
$2 grand
but me on
shy of my
disability,
yearly
I'm
salary.
freaking getting half of the income I was getting working, and now because I can't work like I used to, I mean, I do a little bit of extra bits here and there to help with the household bills, or to help because my metabolism, and I actually got confirmation of this with my little brother, because he eats like a fat bastard who's always hungry and can never fill up his hollow leg.
Yeah.
And I like that, because I think that's funny. Why are you eating so much? And then when I started eating like that, I actually lost from I think it was at 195.
Yeah.
Because when we moved into our new house that we just bought last year, I was actually at 195. I dropped myself to 175. And my weight's fluctuated in the last 3 weeks, but I'm anywhere from 168 to 172.
Yeah.
On a constant, because I eat like a fat man. And that's genetics. So I'm like, okay, well, if I can do that and working out like I do almost every day, I figured, well, you know what? Because of that, and because I'm actually in a physically fit and actually pretty good, and supposedly I'm already supposed to be in a wheelchair, but by pure willpower of myself, I'm still walking up and capable, because I was told when I was 18 that get the surgery, which I got, or not, I'd be in a wheelchair by the time I'm 30. I'm 38 here in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. I figured, well, since I'm that age, and since me and you agree on a lot of the topics, because we've talked about a lot of stuff that needs to be changed in the system.
Yeah, we've talked about, like, education. We've talked about being...
some of the financing,
like,
the way they do it for the government.
Yeah, talking about the finance sector, talking about public sector, and how, like, how some of the education stuff is not being run as best, and also the fact that, you know, because Utah is taking their sweet time legalizing, you know, marijuana and legalizing a lot of that stuff, and then, like, taking away the prohibitions that they established for, like, Schedule 1 drugs and things like that, and keeping people incarcerated for really dumb reasons. We've talked about that stuff. We've also talked about the way that some of the stuff is run when it comes to some of the laws in the state. So we've
and also how the Board of Pardons can override anything the governor says. No, I'm going to give this guy a pardon. Oh, you can't do that because we say F you.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, when the heck did that happen? And talking to my father-in-law, that actually happened back in the 90s.
Yeah.
That I don't know if they're an idiot or just somebody snuck it into their stuff they were doing for the Senate, for the state, ended up putting something in that made it so that way the Board of Pardons overrides everybody on any law for, hey, you're only supposed to serve 5 years in every other state, but guess what? Minimum here, 10 to 15.
Yep.
And that's BS.
Yeah, someone else said something. Oh, same person. He says, I'm getting a great mic so I can have a better sounding beatbox, also a purifier. All right. Get that big mic. This mic right here that we've got that you see in this video screen, this one cost, it's Sonoff, I think is what it's called. No, Tonar. It's a Tonar mic with a pop filter, and we got it for like $38 for the mic itself, and then the pop filter was like 10.
Where
So, Amazon.
Nice.
Where you get like everything for cheap.
Yeah, Amazon's the best place to buy
'Cause
anything right now with the way that
we shopped everywhere
stuff's
from
going.
like Best Buy. Sorry, earthquake. Just kidding. My leg. So we shopped everywhere from Best Buy to like Guitar Center to like pretty much a lot of different places for like a good mic and for a good system, because aside from this podcast that I decided to have us just start just because, fuck it. I also wanted to record audiobooks as well as do my own little personal podcast, because I basically started up a little small mini studio called Helen Studios Productions, which is why this thing's, dubbed by that. Plus also my book that I just recently published is also on that, under that moniker. So as far as that goes, I decided a couple of years ago to get this, mostly because your sister, my wife, it wanted to be a Twitch streamer, and I was like, okay, well, I got like $8,000 on my tax return, so let's spend like $1,000 on a computer system and microphone and everything. So that's why this thing exists, is because of that. But I've been using it because, why not? And so, yeah, eventually I'm going to be creating an audiobook series, and while we're talking about government stuff and trying to run for that and, let you guys know that's a thing, so that we can eventually gain some sort of following with this thing and maybe actually get into that office and make some changes. Because the only time any changes get made in this state is when someone speaks up and does something, rather than engage in what's considered a keyboard warrior type environment where everyone's like typing on the keyboard and like going ha, or pressing the like button, and that's how you engage in warfare these days, is the internet. So we figured, come on here, talk to you guys about it.
That started with my generation, and with yours and my sister's generation, it's improved tenfold. So if you're going to run for office, I hate to say it, like Trump's dumbass did, but he did it in a stupid way the way he did it, because half the crap he tweets about, I didn't say that, and then freaking 2 tweets later, I said that, y'all are stupid.
Yeah,
I mean,
like he'll...
Dude, don't do that. Be honest. Look, here's what the hell happened.
Yeah,
What was it?
like he... I follow the guy on Twitter. Couldn't fly. I follow the guy on Twitter, and I have sat there and watched people, talk about what he did say or what he didn't say, and because that guy seems to have absolute public immunity when it comes to his follower base, because he'll say something, and then he'll go on Twitter and he'll say, this is what actually happened, and then it's like the exact same thing, just in different wording, a different type of story, and yet it's the same freaking thing, and then his follower base will literally go with whatever he considers fact at that particular moment. He's got that situational immunity, in which, depending on the situation and depending on the place he's in and the setting he's in and the crowd he's in, is when the truth changes towards that particular situation. And so what we're trying to do as governor and eventually lieutenant governor, because I'm turning 30 next year, but
Well, we
whatever.
got 4 years because the election just hit to get all this going and running.
Yep, and so basically what we're trying to do eventually is make the changes that are necessary to make the state better, but we're also trying to, because, you can only do so much as governor or lieutenant governor, but you can also only do so much as a politician. So what we're trying to do is push the right buttons, get the right places in order, because that's what happens with change, is change happens over time, but you have to be able to find a way to replace the system with a working one, and so we're going to be trying to do that.
I've been listening to the adults and half of my generation say, we need to fix this. Okay, who's running for office? What? You want? No, I don't want to do that. Let the older people do that. Dude, I am the older people now because I was born in 83, so it's time for me to run and fix stuff like everybody's been talking about around me since I was in elementary school. So I figured, let's get into office, see what I can actually change to actually help fix the system, and what I can't do for the first run, I'll try to go for a second run with you, and maybe we'll do 2 runs as governor, lieutenant governor, and then see how much we can fix in that 8-year period, and then we'll decide what to do from there.
Yeah, because it's
because it takes at least 2 terms, even with presidents, to get anything actually done.
Well, what people also don't realize is that a lot of the changes that happened recently, and that happened the last couple of years, in fact, Trump took credit for a lot of it, because he's that guy who's like, I'm going to take credit for what the last guy did, and everything. He basically, a lot of the stuff that happened recently is stuff that got signed into legislation or signed into law 2 to 3 years ago by Obama, and the last...
Or didn't go through.
Or didn't go through. Yeah, it didn't go through. And what people don't realize is that Congress is the one that makes a lot of the decisions. Congress is the one that does a lot of the stuff. The reason why a stimulus hasn't happened, for instance, is because quite a few of the people that are in office, like Pelosi and Mark Meadows, which was installed by Trump to try to barter correctly, and with quite a few other people that are in office, the reason why a stimulus hasn't happened is not because of Trump. And it's not because Trump wanted it or didn't want it. He actually has been pushing for it heavily. It's because the Congress has been arguing about it for months. It's been like 8 months since they really passed one in April. And so, in fact, he signed a law at the end of March. But the statement, the point I'm trying to make is that when it comes to politics and it comes to these types of things, you have to be able to put the right things in place, but it doesn't come down to just one or two people. It comes down to like an entire team. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to use this stream to talk about that type of stuff, but also to make the right choices and make the right changes to help make things better for everybody. And so,
and also get everybody's opinion on it through the Twitch end of it. So that way, hey, this is my opinion on it. Okay, great.
Yeah, and
thanks for your opinion, so that way I can look at it and we'll look it up, see what we have to do to get it changed.
This guy up here that I'm putting my hand next to, when you look into the camera, this guy, he has been ADA essentially for years, and he's been told all of his life that he's not going to be anything more than just ADA. And so a big part of this is his way of saying F you to society and F you to average standards, and he's the average guy. And I'm the guy who's been working at Verizon and other places. So we're both average dudes who are not particularly part of the, we're nowhere near the 1%, 2%, whatever. We're not even middle class.
We're low middle class.
Yeah, we're like,
because I'm on disability, I get paid half of what minimum wage gets paid or less. Because I'm making chump change.
Like half of, if I were to try and help someone with their rent, for instance, like if I were to take like $600 and try to help someone with their rent, I would like not have any money.
You'd lose your rent.
Yeah, I'd lose all my rent. So we're that stage. So if we pull off becoming, governor or lieutenant governor, then literally anybody could do it. Anybody could make the change. And that's kind of the point we're trying to make, is anybody can make the change.
That's also what they taught us in the 80s. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, you get to a certain point and then they say, you can't do that. I finally decided I'm done hearing that, and I'm going to actually do something about it and actually move to the next step and do something. Yeah.
And so it's like, CrazyP's is more or less, this episode is us, talking politics and talking about what we could change, what we couldn't change, things like that nature. But in future episodes, we're going to be more focused on just random shit, random, BS, like what movies we've watched, normal joke stuff. But right now, we're kind of nitty-gritty right now and just being like, we're doing this. This was more off of Tim's request than it was on mine, because he wanted to talk about it and stuff. And so we'll probably frequently remind you that that's happening and then update you on the progress. But that's kind of what we're talking about right now is the run for that. Because, like, when you are running for office in general, you have to start it, like,
somewhere.
Like, now. Like, instead of, like, 2 years from now or a year before it happens, you have to start talking about it, making a conversation now. And so
yeah, because everything's social media and everything's online, and especially with the freaking crap that's going on with the stay at home, don't, social distancing, wear masks everywhere. Okay, well, if we're going to do that, then I can't go out and, do rallies and that sort of stuff before we raise the money, but we'll raise the money. We're goofy. We'll get it pulled off.
Well, see, with me doing the audiobook series, or eventually audiobook series, which I'm also doing this because I have extreme anxiety and I have extreme, I did a podcast with my buddy Johnny Boy on the Gallows. You can find it on YouTube, by the way. It's called Gallows Podcast, and Cinema Macabre is my horror group that I'm part of. So Cinema Macabre, you basically spell it CINEMA MACABRE, because it's macabre. And so you spell that way on YouTube, and if you're looking to search it up, it's basically, there's like 6 videos in which we talk about horror movies, and we dissect them and everything and have fun with talking about them. So if you are interested in that, that's there. I'm going to plug it. But yeah, as far as that goes, I'm also doing this because the fact that I'm trying to overcome extreme stage fright and anxiety. But at the same time, I've been on stage before. I drummed in a band. I headlined a show that was doomed to fail. We were gone on stage, and I was, drummer guy, hence the drum set. And Kyle Barrett, he was the guitarist guy, and he was like spent like 20 minutes of the show putting a string on his guitar. You know, any average guitarist will probably take like maybe 5 minutes, unless like they really do have to tune their guitar and shit, which I've been to so many shows that's just a normalcy. Typically they tune it before the show. But Kyle decided that he was going to play the songs, and then he played the first song out of key, and then he had to stop briefly to turn his guitar, and then we jumped back into it, and then midway through the song, or midway through the set, he literally, the string broke, so he had to fix the string on his guitar, and then jump right back into it, and the whole time he was trying to tune it and shit.
Is that when y'all were doing that in Ogden?
Yeah, that was the Ogden show. Amber wasn't part of that, but that was
I brought
the Ogden
her
show.
to it. I didn't come in, but I heard some of it from sitting outside for a few minutes, and then I went home because I had
yeah, you had Connor
adulting to do.
Yeah, Connor and other shit to take care of.
It was before Connor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It was just bills and stuff, dude.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, that show, I was drumming. Amber was supposed to be part of it because she was supposed to be at least the audience. Like, no, she wasn't the vocals. That was the different band. This was Risen for Revenge.
It was the one before that? Okay.
Yeah, it was the one before that. So we were sitting there playing on stage, and there's like a grand total of like 5 people in the crowd. So we had a sold-out show of 5 people. It was great. Normally a sold-out show is like 5,000, but we were 5. We had the one person in the background going, woo! And we're like, yeah, we love you! And it was like the one person. And so that was me realizing that we really suck. And so we were sitting there and we were trying to play, and it got like half to the set, and then like the guitarist guy, the other guitarist is Brian. We're sitting there playing, and they start doing their Guitar Hero stuff where they start soloing and whatever. And I'm trying to be the morale, so I'm like doing my normal stuff and trying to get them, amped up. And then we spend like 7-8 minutes just doing nonstop Guitar Hero crap. And then my brother, of course, being the smart ass that he is just so like, so you guys ready for the real show? And they're just like, then one person, the guy goes, woo, yeah. And so like, it was kind of like a Scott
That sounds like your brother.
It was like a Scott Pilgrim versus the World moment where it was like, you might as well just hit the tom and go, we suck. But like, so we're sitting there, we're playing the show, and we finally get to the last song. By the end of it, I'm winded because, I've been having fun because I'm just like,
all right, there's too much flavor for my glasses.
Because at first I'm just like, oh my God, this is great. I got to play at a show, blah, blah, blah. But the other part of my brain's going, you're not getting paid, motherfucker. And then I'm just like going, but it's fun. And then, I understood. I was like, we royally failed. But you know what? We headlined. And you know what? I was terrified.
There's nothing wrong with failing as long as you fail awesomely.
Yeah, so we failed pretty awesomely because of the fact that, I got to play a drum solo, too, in the middle of it because they were guitar soloing, so I was just like, whoa. And Kyle's like, you should play that every time. And so we did. But yeah, so, yeah, it's a thing. But yeah, so as far as this goes, that was me going down memory lane for a bit. So as far as this goes, so we've got...
well, that's kind of what we do on our goofy talks.
Yep, so we've got 20% remaining on your battery.
I don't care.
I'm going to press close. So as far as this goes...
Let it go.
Yep, let it go. We got 1 viewer. You are awesome, viewer. We got 1 viewer.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you. Love you. So as far as this goes, with your government talk, what would you do about other, let's think in terms of like other sectors of government, since you're...
Well, what specifics?
Because we've got education, we've got education reform, we've got economics.
Economics, okay.
Yeah, let's talk economics for a bit, actually, because we talked about a little bit about some of the education system. What would you do with economics?
Well, I believe that, no offense to the government workers, some of them get paid screwy pay.
Okay.
Well, but I know that the high-ups, the governor, lieutenant governor, and a few of the higher-ups are like, we don't get paid enough. I'm like, dude, in 1 year, you get paid enough to buy, well, not nowadays, used to be enough to buy a house. But I'm sorry, it's 4 years, so 150 times 4 is 600.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough to buy 2 to 5 houses, depending on the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So, one, we need to fix that. One, because the whole thing with the way taxes are ran, was supposed to end after World War II. It never has. And with the way that, no offense to the United States, is we're in the hole. Yeah, well, Trump, because he supposedly was a rich a-hole who knew how to make money, was supposed to help with that. He hasn't helped with that. So I want to go to governor to try to, because Utah's one of the better states with the money, but I want to go in, look at it, and see if there's any way we can improve it. Because the schools, and no offense to Utah, it's 2 seasons. Winter, construction. And I know that's how it is in a lot of other states I've lived in my life. The bad part is we do too much construction. We need to find a way to make our roads better, and possibly even just run a scenario or test out new types of roading.
Yeah.
So that way we don't have to redo half the roads or half the plumbing every 2 to 5 years. Because, let's see, the plumbing where mom and dad live, my mom and dad, was done 5-6 years ago. No, 4 years ago. And they didn't fix and replace the cloth piping that they were supposed to. So they kept having their basement flood. We called the city. Well, I think my dad called whoever he knows that works at City Hall. Or he called somebody, I don't know who. Because I think the mayor is part of his ward.
Yeah.
For Clearfield. But he called him. They came. They dug it up. Took pictures. And then somebody from the city, you got to pay money. Dude, the guy who originally did the construction didn't put in the pipe, which was supposed to be PVC. Or was it CP? Either way, it was the stronger stuff that you're supposed to put under the roads before you do it.
Yeah.
There had been a sinkhole since we moved in. But when they redid the pipes and redid the blacktop, the sinkhole was back within 6 months. Which told us, okay, something's wrong.
Yeah.
We'll wait it out. We waited it out so long that the plumber who came to try to help us with it put a camera snake through the pipes, went all the way out, and his camera literally got caught in the hole that was in the old school pipe. It's like pipe that was put in the 50s.
Yeah.
And it literally ripped it off of his snake. Motorized snake, for that matter, too. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, we need to fix this and make the roads more reliable and fix the pipes properly. Because, let's see, because they just did, on the way to my son's school, which is just over the border in Sunset, they were doing the pipes, and they just got finished with that like a month ago.
Yeah.
And we've been in school for like 3 or 4 months. So it's basically my son and my daughter, because she's in, was she in kindergarten, first grade this year? First grade.
Seems like a first grader.
Yeah, she's 6. I had to remember her age. Oh. Well, dude, it's hard enough. I mean, you got the oldest of my younger siblings, your wife. Then you got the next one down. Hi, Todd. Then you got the next one down who has her issues. And then you got Nephi.
Robin. And Nephi.
Yeah. Like I said, I wasn't going to say her name because with her mental issues. But I mean, everybody in my family's got mental issues. It seems like, except for, well, I'll say except for me, the oldest, because there's 10 years between me and his wife, the oldest of the second set.
Yep, Amber.
Yep, Amber, Judy. Of the second set. And the funny part is, Nephi, the youngest one, the brother that I wasn't around after he was like the age of 1, because I left to try to go make money. Or at least my parents had the idea, go make money so that way we don't have to pay for your mission out of our own pockets, because we're already paying for a house, because they were paying the mortgage at the time for the house we owned. And the funny part was, I decided, no, I'm going to be me, no offense to the church, I'm going to be me, I'm going to be honest with myself, and I'm going to run my life the way I want it to run. It didn't work 100%. I'm only just now this year, with all the weirdness that's happened, the amount of chaos that it is has put me back on the path to be going towards political office like I wanted to do 8 years ago when I hit 30. But I didn't have anybody to run with. And when we were talking about it, I asked you, well, what age are you? I'm 29. And your birthday's in August, right next to Nick Okay, no, this will be perfect. Because by the time you hit 30, at basically almost the end of next year,
Yep.
if we have enough money saved up or donate it to us through doing this and just in general, we'll be able to do the fun thing, which is we have the money. We're going to pay for it. Okay, we're on the ballot. Okay, now we're just going to keep doing the streaming thing, doing podcasts, or just doing whatever we want to do on this stuff, so we can get into office. Because also, I also want to make it kind of, well, I'll figure it out when I get into office, because I don't know how to do it. Well, I still got to do research on that one. But to get the lights like we got in Clearfield, and some of the ones they have, well, they don't have them in Layton like they do in Clearfield, but the ones like we got where it's green light for turning, and then it goes up, hits stop, and then it hops back down to the caution turning light so you can turn when it's clear.
Yeah.
I don't like that that's not everywhere, because no offense, it should be, because it's helped traffic.
Yeah, it's like an extra
lot in that area.
Yeah, it's like an extra like symbol, like because for a lot of light systems, it's stop, slow down, go, and for a lot of people, the arrow or the blinky thing would help people be able to differentiate, because a lot of people are visual, especially in the age in which everyone literally watches like video on their phones, like Disney Plus, Netflix, Hulu. That might sound completely irrelevant to the point we're making, but I'm going somewhere with this. So it's a visual aspect, and my son is very visual. Like we in school, they basically he was in Head Start for a couple of years, right? And he was developmentally delayed. He was developmentally delayed. I don't understand how lucky I am because.
Well, no, the 2 years in Head Start, because Connor and Nikki.
Yeah.
I don't know if they had somebody at the Head Start office. Your name's Potter. Okay, we're not going to give you the pre-Head Start. Your kids only get the Head Start.
Okay.
Your kids, both of them have gotten pre-Head Start and Head Start. Well, the second one's going to be getting Head Start next year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your kids have gotten the extra years. My kids didn't. Funny part is, my kids are also on, I'll say about 50 to 60% of the subjects, because I know Connor's with math, but he's like me, he's a slow reader.
Yeah.
They're faster than everybody else on the math. He finishes his math, because they have it on the digital, the Imagine Math.
Yeah.
Through Doxy, where he goes. He's done with that 2 to 3 months before the end of the school year. But now that half of the stuff is online, because they're even doing it online in school, he's actually on par where he needs to be, because he's actually keeping up, because it's online, self-paced. But this is all we're going to give you for the day, not here's a big app, let's see how far you can get.
Yeah.
That's the only part I like. But I also don't like it with as digital as it is, in the way of he can't go to the next step because he's got to wait till the next day to get to that part on his calendar, on his stuff. At least I think so. I don't know. I've never actually checked it. But if he can, if I just let him go to the next day, he would. He'd spend the whole day on freaking his device. But that's also bad, because if you spend too much time on your device, it kind of makes you angry or frustrated when you're not on it because of the what's the effect? No, it's the blue light or yellow light effect that you can turn off on your. I always turn it off on my cell phone, so that way I can do the whole. Okay, it's not that crappy. Burn my eyes light. I can just turn it down to almost freaking completely off and just sit here and watch a video. Hey, look, my brain says go to sleep. Okay, plug phone in, crash out.
I'm reflecting on the points that I was making about the visual thing. Arian is he's a visual learner, and the teacher actually told us recently, because I told them like because there was like a meal to meeting
IEP?
with that exactly is
IEP. I remember that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I was sitting there and I jumped into it because my supervisor at the time was like, in fact, he's still my supervisor, but he was like, do you need to be part of that? And I told him that'd be nice. I'd never get to be part of these, so he let me part of it. And so I was telling the teachers in that classroom, because there were like 4, and they're all in like laptops writing down stuff. And I told them, like, my son's very visual, very auditory, because he likes listening to stuff, because he kind of learned that from me. And then very visual, but he also is very social. Like, and I learned this from Kirk Duncan and Kim and stuff because of their whole class on like how to guide people and stuff and like the 7 learning languages. And so I was paying heavy attention to how Aryan learns recently, and notice he's very visual, very auditory driven, very social. And so as long as he's in a social group and everything, and everyone's kind of learning off each other, he learns really well. Like he does that with the siblings all the time. But he's also very visual, and so the idea of the stoplights having like an extra cue on them that helps all these people that like they don't like reading anything. I mean, terms and service. Are you kidding me? Nobody reads that. And then you've got like
and that's when you get the truck in the middle of the month you didn't know about.
Yep. And then you've got like product descriptions. You've got all sorts of other stuff that people just don't read. They have a visual cue, like a picture. They'll read that. Like my hand's right here. So if they have a picture, like a thing that says this is what it is, they'll completely pay attention to that. But if there's words, like an entire...
You're not a robot.
Right.
You must pick the freaking...
Like a captcha.
Crosswalk.
Yeah.
I hate those because you hit one and then it pulls up another crosswalk. I'm like, oh great, this is the pick until all of the crosswalks are gone.
Yeah, but if there's like a product description of like, this is the thing, this is... Like, they completely ignore that. If there's a visual picture, they'll get it. So with the stoplight thing, if you have like an extra visual cue, then people might pay attention more, and they might be a little less aggravated drivers. Plus, also, you brought up the whole screen time thing that I was thinking about just there was the fact that a lot of people like fight each other online. It's probably because of all their extended screen time with being inside. So
well, now with the current pandemic BS that's going on, it's like, yeah, the new vaccine. No, have you seen half the videos? You got one of a nurse fainting, another one of a guy getting stabbed with a needle. The one you just showed me.
Yep.
That's a freaking...
It looks like a friggin' prop, man. Like,
it is. It's a prop.
Like,
it's a movie prop. The ones they used to have in the 90s where you stick it in and you push down because the liquid goes on the inside just around where the needle goes in because the way the guy was wiggling. I'm like, that guy doesn't know how to do injections, or that's a fake needle. I think it's a fake needle.
Yeah, like we were in the green room and I was showing him before the show. I was showing him I was showing him a video that I found that one of my friends posted on Facebook, and it was like a couple coworkers of mine. And I'm sitting there showing him in the green room. I'm like, hey, this is the video. And so we were watching it. I had to play it like 6 times because at first I was like, that looked fake. And then, but I didn't want to like automatically judge it, and so I had him look at it. And like we couldn't zoom in on it because it's like it's a video that's on Facebook, so you can't zoom in. You're gonna fly. And so I'm sort of showing him it, and he's like, there's no liquid in that needle. And I was like, so I'm not the only one noticing that? And he's like, no. And I'm like, and then I said, what about the needle that goes into his skin? And he like he looks at it, and he's like, yeah, that needle is not going in the skin. That's like a prop needle. And like it's like,
well, I've seen him before, so
yeah, like he goes to push the needle into his body and everything. Watch,
into his arm.
Yeah. Watch, New World Order's gonna be after us, but like they take the needle.
Try.
Yeah, they take the needle. They push it against his arm, and you can see it as like the needle itself like doesn't go into his skin. Like the difference. Like they've shown it on TV. You've been in the office. You've had a doctor put a vaccine in your arm, like the flu shot.
Or like me, you donate plasma twice a week, so
plasma.
You know what the indents look like. It's like, dude, your skin didn't even move. That's called BS.
Yeah, like you've seen, like everyone's had a needle in their arm at some point in their life. They know what it's like. They even know what it's like.
Or they've seen somebody else.
Yeah, or they know what it's like if the doctor stabs it wrong, and like they stab it and it hurts really fucking bad, and then like blood spurts out or something. Like they've seen it. So it's just like when we were watching that video, I was like going, that looks fake.
I think the blood would just strip down his arm because they didn't even put a band-aid on it. They just poked it in, pretended to push in whatever fake liquid that they had in the prop needle, and then pulled it away. It's like, dude, he's wearing a white shirt.
Not to mention they pushed the thing up. They instead of just pressing down like that, they did this. They went like that, and then they pushed it back up, and then they pushed it down again, as if like they didn't get enough in there. And I'm just like watching this, and I'm like,
that's not how you're supposed to do it. You're supposed to put it in, then you're supposed to pull it back to get a little bit of blood in the needle, to make sure that you got no air holes, and if you ain't got no air holes, you push it in. Because if you have air holes, that'll put air in your blood vessels, and depending on the size of the air bubble, I know this from donating and from hearing this from nurses and doctors, depends on the size, it could kill you, because when it gets to your heart, the air bubble could give you a heart attack and make you kill yourself.
Yeah. So it's just like, these are all things, like I was sitting there watching the video with him, and it was something that was being shared a lot, so I don't know if the video is going to last very long, but you might run into it. But anytime any videos come around that kind of challenge the narrative or challenge media and stuff, those videos tend to disappear like crazy. So you may watch it, you may not, so you may not know what we're talking about, whatever. But that's what I was showing him that a little bit ago, so as far as that goes. But as far as government goes, or as far as anything like that goes, what else would we talk about?
I still gotta do some research on how I would pass a law, because like I said, I've been talking about it for years. I've done a little bit of research here and there, but I know in the last year, especially with disability, because this year they approved you can be disabled and make up to it's supposed to be $928 and some change before they say you're making too much. But because I can't go to the disability office or call them or try to set up the plan, even though I got it all written out, it's literally sitting at my house on my desk.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I want to make this much a week, this much a month, which isn't over your limit. It's actually under your limit by like 100 or 2. And then you go further down the page on the limit, and it says, but the actual limit is $1,500, or no, $1,050. I'm like, wait, you said I can't make more than $228, but if I do good and make that much for, I think it's a 3 months, like, tester period.
Something like that, yeah.
It's a 3 to 6 month tester period. You don't make more than $1,050. It's like, okay, wait, you're saying one thing? Oh my, I need to freaking somebody. But I mean, I've looked over it, and some of the weird rules, and I know with some of the local laws and some of the federal laws, I've seen some of them that have changed, and it's like, okay, who did that change the benefit? Because it didn't change the benefit me.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing that happened to me is I made an extra, I think it's like $20-30 a month.
Yeah.
Now on disability because cost of living's gone up. Dude, last time cost of living got up, you told me F you. After I got cost of living going up for 3 years in a row, then it's like, no, you got to deal with the money you got for like 2 or 3 years. Wait, cost of living is still going up, but I have to deal with low income? But the funny part is, my income is higher than my wife's, but the only difference between hers and mine is she has medical.
I was wondering about that, about how
I had to cancel my medical.
Same.
Well, I had to cancel my medical freaking 2-3 years into my disability because of the state said, you make too much as a disability couple. She makes, I think it's like 7-8.
That's another thing we can talk about. Like,
I make, literally, it just went up. I like make almost exactly $1,000 flat.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I can make $600 when I was working, and I know the minimum wage hasn't gone up, but the minimum of what everybody's getting paid has gone up. No. Minimum wage still $7.25 for those people who want to be a-holes and not pay you what you're actually worth, so that way you can afford your stuff like rent, water, electricity, gas. But the thing is, also in the last 2 years,
Bernie might make it to where the wage actually goes up to 15 though.
Dude, everybody's getting paid 10 plus.
I know. Well, the average standard has increased now from like 10 to like 12 and then 15. So
depending on the job, because I think at Walmart they still start you out at like $9-10.
It's
But the only reason I got started out is at $9 when I worked at Walmart. Freaking God, it's been at least a decade since I worked at Walmart.
Yeah. The
only reason I got $9 is because I've most of my career it's been retail. Gas station, ice cream shop. That was fun in Ohio. Gas station, Walmart, and that's all.
Yeah.
And now doing a little bit here and there, making money where I can, if I can, depending on the week, because Christmas week's going to hurt hard, because everybody's going to be out of town, so there's not going to be a lot of people doing what I use for that. That's
I
gonna be
feel
a little
like
tight next week.
I feel like it's not going to be as bad as you think it is, and I feel like more people are still going to be home.
It sucked on Thanksgiving, but Friday and Saturday, I don't know if the app was lying to me, but it's like, we're like fully busy. Go out, freaking! I sat for 30 minutes in a parking lot because there were no orders coming in, even though they said it was 2 bars busy. I'm like, that's not 2 bars busy, dude. That's like not even busy.
Last year, Christmas was actually really good for a lot of Door Dashers.
It was for Nephi.
Yeah, like Chantelli and quite a few other people I know, they've been coasting a lot about how door dashing has become extremely common, especially since, nobody is leaving their house to do anything. Like, there's people that are leaving, of course, that, don't believe in the whole coronavirus
and
thing.
Uber Eats is doing good, too.
Yeah, and so there's, like...
Uber's not, Uber Eats is.
Yeah. so as far as that goes, like, you've got people that are staying inside, following all the stuff the CDC says, and then following all the stuff other people say. And then you've got the other people who are not. And recently, Chantelli, she was on Riverdale and she was in Ogden. She posted pictures on the internet of, like, people literally, like, the lines for the drive-thrus for all the different restaurants were, like, backed up real far back and everything.
Almost to the street.
Yeah, and so there are a lot of people that are doing out, eating out and stuff. And Johnny Boy, who does my podcast host, hi, he recently started messaging our group chat and saying, he was like going, because he doesn't like to feel like he's alone in things, he's very community-based, but like he was just like going, hey guys, just letting you know, I just spent $32 on DoorDash for just like me and my roommate, and I'm like going, oh yeah, and he's like, yeah, so I'm saying it's my roommate too, so I don't feel as much like a fat ass. I was like, dude, you are the scrawniest guy. Like, you are lean and tall. Like, he's like 6 foot, or at least he looks 6 foot compared to me because I'm like short. But like, he's
shut up, dude. You're not that short.
He's skinny and he's tall and he's very fit for his
That's
physique.
why all the women voters are gonna vote for you. My height. I'm voting that asshole in. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, God. But yeah, like,
you brought it up. I had to run with the joke.
So basically, JB, he does the DoorDash a lot, and I don't do that a lot myself because I got kids and it would be expensive. But he does, and what he spends in DoorDash, I spend in diapers. But like, I was there and I was trying to talk to him about it, and it wasn't even really trying to talk to him. He just sort of just went woo, and started talking about it and stuff. And what I learned from him was that the average person is door dashing constantly. In fact, my brother Andrew is also door dashing quite a bit, and I know quite a few people aside from Tim that do door dashing, and business has been pretty healthy as far as that goes. So I think that this upcoming week it may hurt you just a little bit, but not as much as you think.
Yeah, well, if things go good and I can actually hit it better, we'll see how things go after the beginning of the year, because it's kind of beginning of the year. How much have I made? How much have I set aside for tax? Okay, let's figure this out. See how much I actually have to pay in taxes, because that will determine if I full hog it next year. Because if I full hog it, I could probably make more than I make on disability, probably double, triple my income, and tell disability I don't need you no more.
Yeah.
I mean, if that happens, my wife, Teresa, would be like, where's all the money? Dude, I'm dropping the freaking $2,000 into your account to pay the mortgage and do whatever the heck else we need to do. You can keep your check this month and have fun. Or use it for groceries.
Isn't that like your lifelong dream though too? Like, be able to do something that's fun, that's like...
I'd be able to save up money, and no offense, I love my car, but no offense, I've told my wife this the whole time we've been married. She's like, no. We need 2 cars. One for her, one for me. With enough room, that way we can put our kids in. And if I gotta go while she's gone, or while she's going to help her family, or doing whatever she's gotta do, if I gotta go do something, or somebody calls me, hey, I need your help. Sorry, I ain't got the car. The wife took it. She went to go do this. It's like, ugh. I'm like, I know, I wish I could help, but I don't have 2 cars.
Yeah.
If I have 2 cars, then, okay, yeah, no. We don't have enough room in the driveway. That's cool. I'll just park it down at the school or down at my church, which is like, it's a 5-block walk. That literally is me walking to the car, driving around doing DoorDash, or going to the gym, working my butt off and getting bigger.
Yep.
Because I'm in the process, because that's where COVID killed me. Sorry if you didn't like me saying it. My bad. Deal with it. But it killed me because they closed down the gym in like April. until like, what was it, 4 months ago when we started taking you to the gym?
Yeah.
4 or 5 months ago?
Yeah, it was clear back in August, July, August-ish.
Yeah. So, I mean, that killed me. Dude, I literally lost like freaking 2 inches on my arm, and I'm like pissed about it. It's like,
Hey, show that gun on the camera. You're off camera, actually.
Okay, which way?
Yeah, that way. See, look at that. Look at that. Apparently, it's like 1 inch shorter, or 2 inches shorter.
1 to 2 inches from last year.
Yeah. So.
And that was working out for 1 year with Nephi. You've come with me, so you know how hard that little turd works his butt.
Oh
off.
yeah, no, he
tries to
pushes
come
hard.
on, we're gonna do
Yeah,
weightlifting stuff.
he goes for it and stuff, and a lot
He
of times.
goes for it, and I'm like, you sure you can do that? I can do that. Remember that one week?
Yep.
No, it's my shoes. No, it's not your shoes, dude. Because I moved it halfway. Thomas, come move this thing. You moved it. He's like,
I don't
screw
know
you, it's my shoes.
what the device is called, but it's the one where you've seen football players use, like in those football player movies, or if you're a football
it's a
player,
sled.
you know what it yeah, it's like a sled thing, and you put like
You can
weights
put the weights on it.
on the
weight
corners.
bars.
You put the weights on the corners, and it's a 4-corner device, and you basically have to push it across the strip. And he was sitting there, and he was trying to move it, and he got like tiptoed, and he was just like, and like. I'm sitting there and I'm like watching it, and he's just like straining. He's like, and his face is all red. He's like, and I'm like, God, I'm like, you okay, dude? He's just like, I'm fine. And then he's like, it's my shoes.
And I took over.
He's like, it's my shoes. And then I was just like, going, okay, we'll help you finish it. So it's pretty funny. Close. 10% left. Okay.
Whatever, dude. Like I said, let my phone die. I'll get
Yep.
the stream. Here's
So-
hoping it auto saves it.
Yeah.
Or I'll be SOL.
Yep. Well, I've got OBS as well, so I can
Well,
just
I
send
got
recording.
the plug. I don't know. Her moving the phone that way is the.
No,
same
the
button
phone.
on this side.
The
home
cord.
screen button.
The cord is right. It goes right here, and the home button's right there.
Oh, if the home button's right there, that's where the cord plugs in.
Yep.
Ah, shit. Okay, we got it flip flop. We'll have to remember that for next time.
Yep.
Because, like I said, I'll bring my longer cord. I did not realize I did not bring my 6-inch cord. It was the 3 crappy inches for the car.
Hey,
but that works while
It's
driving.
been streaming for 57 minutes right
Hey,
now. So,
like I said,
got content.
dude, it's the new iPhone SE 2020, which means the battery's not complete shit.
Yeah.
Plus, I've never killed the phone, but you're supposed to kill it the first time you get it. Bull crap.
Yeah.
Depends on the battery and the way they got all the new phones coming out. Dude, you can run that son bitch for 50 years, the damn thing won't die. And it's an iPhone, unless I drop it or throw it because somebody pisses me off. It shouldn't blow up or break.
Well, it gave you the first warning at 30 minutes, so it's only been 20, and it's only been gone down 10-20%, so that's not bad.
No, because we were like 31 when we started.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, so as far as, so it's funny, like, when we were at the gym and stuff, that's what podcasting is.
Yep.
When we were at the gym and stuff, we were sitting there working out, and Nephi was always trying to push himself to do stuff that you're just like, why are you doing that, kid? And he's, doing it anyway.
I have
And,
muscles. I need them bigger.
right? And he's just all like,
But see, the funny part is, he's like, look at my bicep. It's
Right.
fast. I'm like, dude, mine's the same size as yours, but you build trailers all day. No offense. That's kind of bullshit.
yeah.
1, 2, the only thing he has on me is his legs are built better. The one thing I have on him, I actually have a goddamn chest.
Yeah.
He's like, him, it's like, my chest, I have no chest. It's gone. It's like, dude, no, you gotta, and he tries to do it and it's still, it's like, dude, we need the bench press. I don't want to bench press. That's why you ain't got chest, homie.
Yeah,
I
that
told him
kid.
that when we first started, because the first time he took me to the gym, before we started going to Clinton,
Yeah.
before I bought my membership, we went to the one in Layton. And I did 45s on each side. What I used to do in high school, I did like 10 reps. But because me and him were going on a regular basis, and then
Yeah.
he stopped having the extra person on his freaking account, 'cause
Yeah.
Mom took it over because his job at Smith's and issues with, the payments and when they came out and blah, blah, blah. Because at the time he wasn't managing his money properly. Now he's got it managed 10 times better. Plus he's got a better job. But the thing is when he stopped doing that, I did the 24-hour free pass.
Yeah.
I did that twice. On the third time, I went back to the Vasa and Clinton, and they're like, now, sweetheart, and I mean, the ladies, be attractive. She don't work there no more, but But yeah, she's like, okay, now you've already used a one-day pass before. You actually have to get a membership. I'm like, if I just go to the locker room change, I got this. I literally put it on mine and my wife's Walmart card, and then freaking like a month or two later when our Walmart card was getting full because we had to, fork out money to get a washer and dryer in our new house and do all that stuff when we first moved in and fix a few things that wasn't clear it was not working 100% when we looked at the house, but once you live in it, it's like, okay, that's not working right. All right, we need to fix that.
Yep.
And it happens. But because we did that, we ended up accidentally mixing up that, so I had to put it on my regular card where my disability comes in. So it's like, okay, I can work with that. Just gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
Figured it out. The only bad part about having the gym membership is it's a $26 membership, 26 and change membership, because I got to deal with everything on it. No, actually, I got to deal with everything on it. I can do anything in there as long as it's not a paid-for class.
Yeah.
I can literally walk into the class with all the little hotties and the, 5 old guys staring at the hotties' butts for yoga and crap, and I can just walk in there, okay, let's do this. Dude, you're young. What are you doing here? We only have old creepos. I'm not a creepo. I just need to be badass and more stretchable. Why? I'm disabled. What's your disability? Charcot-Marie Tooth. I don't know what the hell that is. Exactly. Look it up. There's a big long explanation. And the one that they actually changed the one on MD. MD, I think it was 2 years ago?
Yeah.
2 or 3 years ago, they changed it and reclassified it. And I don't even remember what the name that they classified it under as a disability. But I'm like, that does not sound like my disability. Now, I know what the disability is if I see the name. But that's not 100% mine. Because mine is a genetic one. It messes with your bones, your muscles, or your nerves. And the way they've reclassified it as 15 different types. Well, 3 different types, but there's 2 to 5 different types in each section. So it's like, okay, dude, okay, here's what I got. I'll just explain it easy. I got this. I got bone issues because my feet auto turn in, and my arches are super high. I mean, you've seen my arches. They're super high, even with the surgery I got when I was 19. That's supposed to, and they basically made me a flat foot so I can't join the military. A-holes. Well, no, because I tried to join the Marines, and what about flat foot? I'm like, my feet were made flat. They're not flat, made flat. Yeah, I had surgery. Oh. Well, let's take your ASVAB, and then we'll look into your disability, see if you can join the Marines.
Yeah.
I made, I think it was a 59 on my ASVAB, which basically means I can do whatever the hell I want, but I'm not smart enough to go straight into officer.
Yeah.
So, okay, I want to be a computer programmer. Got all through everything, and then right before we started doing the physical training, which I was already doing at school because I was lifting weights, and I was lifting weights at home at the time. But the funny part was, they found out that my disability kind of, F you, you're not joining the military. Damn it. I almost had an out. That's how, no, that was my out for going on my mission because I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Are you going to go on your mission? Yeah, sure. I'm not going to do it, here's your answer you want.
Yep.
That's the one I always gave, because that's me. Okay, yes. Here you go, here's your answer. Leave me alone. Let me live my life. Which is why I'm like, okay, let's run for governor and lieutenant governor on the next election. We got 4 years to figure it out.
So just as a preemptive, this stream is going to be on Twitch, on his Twitch. I'm going to put it on, I'm going to probably end up creating a Twitch account as well, so just for this podcast alone. I'm also going to be putting it on YouTube, and then he's probably going to end up putting it on his TikTok, and we're probably going to take bits and pieces of really good parts of it, and Amber's probably going to put it on her TikTok. So just so you know, it's going to be in multiple different places. This thing is not just going to be on his Twitch.
I gotta remember what my password is for Twitch so I can change my name. I'm gonna change it to the name I have on my Instagram because I just changed that one. My TikTok and my Twitch are all gonna be my professional accounts. Carnage6778. I had somebody the other day when I was on TikTok just jumped on a live. I'm like, hey, I like this person's videos. Let's see what their lives are like. Okay, they're talking about this. I'll give my opinion. Said my name also is wrong. I'm like, dude, it's Carnage. It's just a K, not a C. Why? Because I'm unique, so I'm not spelling it like everybody else. That's not my handle. That's never been my handle.
Yeah. So,
I'm weird like that, though.
Yeah. One of the thing I wanted to bring up real quick is the fact that since, we're going to be running for office, essentially, is I am an author, and I have authored a book. I'm going to be working on 2 sequels, technically like 5, but, who's counting?
No. You're going to be working on your 2 sequels, and we're going to be working on my first 2 books.
That's true.
Yeah, we've been talking about that, too.
Yeah, so I'm working on Crimson. I published Crimson Nightfall, Everything Burns. I've put underneath a pen name TPA Wolfric. It's on Amazon, both ebook and paperback. And I'm going to, like I said at the very beginning of this, I'm going to be working on an audiobook, basically. It's basically this book that's broken into 5 narrators that tell the story. And it trades between each narrator. So you've got like 20 chapters. And each book's probably going to be about the same length-ish. Basically, the first book is focused on the narrator Peter, and then the second book's going to be Virima. I'm thinking the third one's going to be Orion, and then it's going to be Sam and Vilas. And basically, it's a dark fantasy story that kind of takes notes from like A Nightmare on Elm Street, Star Wars. It's like a hodgepodge of different influences I have. But basically, the gist of it is you've got 5 dark anti-heroes who have to prevent the world from getting destroyed by great evil, and one of the great evils, his name is Abraxan, and he has this group called the Unholy Trinity, and we journey on this thing. It's like a horror story with action-adventure, and we go on the journey with these characters, and then we start learning about how they have traumas, and they have like daddy issues. They have like, one of them's a survivor of like sexual assault, and so there's some not necessarily triggering stuff, but like there might be some trigger warnings in there. And then one of them has also got a father story. So and then one of them also has like he was talking about mental disability type of thing. I've got a bit of that going on with Sam, like where her big problem is internal strife. Like her family has a genetic disease where she could go mentally insane, essentially. So you've got these different little characters with their storylines, and so I've got that published. So I just want to bring that up and plug it. It's called Crimson Nightfall, Everything Burns, and it's basically kind of like if you watched Supernatural or if you watched, Star Wars or any of those other stories, it takes influences from those stories. And then he said that he's going to be also having me work on his story. So what's your stories about? I'm going to put you on the spot, motherfucker.
No, that's fine. I have one about basically it's I guess it would be classified as, what's the word? Not Android, the other one. Well, what they call Android in DBZ, human with robot parts on the inside to make them more powerful. Exactly that.
Okay.
Thank you. Cyborg. I got one that he didn't know how the hell he got to a cyborg, and that's the story. The other one is basically kind of going like a Underworld and kind of like a Twilight, but not with sparkly vampires. No, real vampires, bitch.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that one straight out. Old school. They look fine as hell, but they're gonna fuck you up, homie.
Kick your ass and take your name.
Kick your ass, fuck you in the ass. Anywho. But I mean, and then get a laugh. But yeah, that's kind of my genre. Plus dragons and that sort of stuff, because that's what I grew up. I mean, I'm not a good reader. I don't read fast, so most of my books are either Naked in Death, J.D. Robb. That series.
Yeah.
I love that whole series. But I also love sci-fi, dragons, Dragon Prince. I love that series. I have the Jedi Bible or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And the Sith one. I got them sitting at home. But I also want to do some stuff like maybe a little bit of DBZ here and there, sort of thing. Like, you can fly. How can you fly? How can you not fly? What do you mean? Dude, everybody has chi. Why can't you use your chi to float? I don't know how to do that. I don't even know how much chi I have. Oh my gosh. If you're one of those, you're a norm.
Norm. Define norm. Define norm for me so we can kind of know what's the difference between a norm and a not norm.
Norm, somebody who doesn't know what chi is or know, oh, I know that name from a karate movie, or that sort of stuff, but doesn't actually know how to tap into their chi or read the energy, the chi of Earth,
Okay.
of the people around them. Because that's my little goofy thing I do. Okay, I see where the situation's going. Okay. Drop. Okay, that went right where I knew it was gonna go. Okay. Okay, if I drop this one here, it should change the course. Yeah, it did. Okay, cool. Alright, I know what's going on. I know how to fix it.
So you don't just read the room, you also read like the vibrations.
I
in the
read
room,
everything and everyone.
the emotions and.
Dude, that's why I haven't been in an accident in 15 years? No. Actually, the last accident wasn't my fault because I didn't read it because I was actually too concentrated on driving, which is a good thing, but sometimes you need to be concentrated on everybody else at the same time. Which is why I've avoided 20 accidents in the last, living out here for the last, let's see, we're in 20, I moved out here in 14 years. I moved out here in 06, July of 06. But I've avoided like 20 accidents, and I've gotten into 1, 2, 3. And all of them were not my fault. But the first two, no, it was your fault because you were making a left turn. Or no, it was your fault because you were making a U-turn. It's like, the guy wasn't even in any of my mirrors in one of them, and he was in Salt Lake. And the funny part was, the cops spoke English. Didn't speak a lick of Spanish. I don't speak El Espanol, because I'm bad with learning other languages. I'll admit that. That's my downfall. But the funny part was, the other driver spoke Spanish, so he instantly got the, okay, that means it's the white guy's fault. It's like, that's reverse racism, assholes. That's bullshit. Well, that's how I see it. It's the, you're white, it's your fault. Excuse me? You're white. Dude, I'm not all white. I'll give you my freaking family history, dude. I got black, native, I got slightly tan from the Middle East, I got a couple of the darker whites from Europe. Hell, I'm 90% Heinz 57 sauce in Europe. But the funny part is, most of my Heinz 57 sauce comes from the freaking people who can get tan in Europe. And we found out with mom and dad's doing their DNA genealogy, whatever the thing they did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we actually have Italian in us on my dad's side, the Potter side. So that's why I tan so well. One burn of the year. The rest of the year, I'm the tan god. Why do you tan so well? Because I've already been burnt once this year. You know that causes skin cancer? Not yet. Oh, and the funny part about my family is, because of my mom and my dad's side of the family, with the genetics and what I've seen with my relatives, the way to get cancer in my family is to either stop smoking or stop doing whatever you were doing that's supposed to cause cancer, because as soon as you stop it, that's when you get cancer. For my genetics.
Interesting.
I think it also has something to do with the CMT.
Okay. So, like, somehow the cells in your legs, like the muscles, start to break down a little bit, and somehow prevents cancer?
No, because of the way that, like, smoking and certain poisons would affect other people.
Mm-hmm.
The way my body processes them, like with getting sick, like the whole COVID thing and whatnot,
Yeah.
I haven't had anything. I had one thing for like maybe a day that could have been a BS symptom. You can't breathe, you have... No, dude, I'm just having some issues. I just quit smoking. Because at the time I hadn't smoked in like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
As soon as I pick up smoking, actually having one cigarette a day or one cigarette a week, I can breathe normally. That's the weird part. But now that I'm trying to do the e-cigarette only,
Yeah.
it's helped. But also with the e-cigarette, I noticed, because my wife being the... Gotta research everything to 150% to 300%. That gives you bubbles in your lungs. Okay, what's the issue? They say it'll cause all this. Do you know what bubbles in your lungs are? No. That's what a bubble in your lung is, dude. I'm sorry. I thought we learned this in like freaking 3rd grade. At least 3rd grade for me, which was like when I was 8. Literally right before some family stuff happened. We won't talk about that on the podcast. And I basically ended up getting moved from Virginia to Oklahoma. So, yeah. Well, dude, my life's weird. I see stuff that other people don't see, or we've talked about it. when you were talking about demons and whatnot, it's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, this is what I know they look like because I've seen them.
Yeah, we're
I mean,
talking
it's
about...
been decades since I've actually seen one, but the whole, they have horns. No, that's just what they put up because somebody in the Dark Ages said, demons have horns. We're going to paint pictures that way it looks like that. We're going to use that to scare the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, we're talking about an array of things about, like, how people see demons different ways, like, perceptually. Like, they perceive demons, they perceive aliens, they perceive pretty much anything that's not human in different ways. And he was...
part that I always
we're
say
kind of
that
bouncing
pisses-
forth
sorry.
between... We were bouncing forth and forth between, like, the different perceptions of realities. And he was talking about stuff that he's seen in his life that he wouldn't mention. And then I was just simply talking about how I feel like if demons are real at all, they're not just like internal human condition, like the internal demons that we talk about. You know, like we have our negative reactions, we have our fears, we have our negative, vices. I was talking about how demons generally, to me anyway, probably if they have bodies at all, they're probably creature type bodies that are so inhuman that we would never be able to complete, like, we would lose our minds proverbially if, like, something that came out of a horror movie became real. And so that's what we were kind of talking about the other night.
And I mentioned the thing that I love that Supernatural talked about this because I'm sorry, think about the story that 90% of the world knows, no matter what your religion, because it says it in I think almost every religious book, unless they've taken it out because it's scary. It's like, it's religion, dude. It's supposed to be scary. It's supposed to scare you to not screw up and not do stupid stuff and not kill people.
Yeah.
But the thing is it's the whole... Hang on a second. I lost my train of thought.
Well, you've sort of been bouncing around like a real, like, you're like that guy, that conductor going, and then, like, your brain is like this web of, like, ideas, and, like, ADHD keeps kicking in and going, well, let's go over here, and let's go over there, and then mid-strike, the rabbit goes, I'm late, and goes down here.
Yes, that's why I made a comment about us doing this, because I'm so random and usually pick up a subject somewhere, and we'll go with it for like 20 minutes, and then I'll go random again. It's like, why do we do this? Because it lets off steam and it's fun.
Yeah, he's like a jukebox shuffler. You just press the shuffle button, and suddenly another topic will pop up.
That's
So
what
if
the
you get dizzy,
ADHD is fun. But see, that's where I think I'll be good as a governor. It'll be ADHD. Okay, this is the subject. Okay, do we have something important to talk about? Or I'm just going to read this asshole talking 15 different ways legalese about how to freaking stop people from smoking by taking smoking taxes up. Why don't we just legalize weed, half the damn taxes on tobacco, because you're also put the dang e-cigarettes into the tobacco product, even though it's not a tobacco product, it's a nicotine product, which is a completely different poison, even though that poison is in cigarettes, but there's like 15 other poisons in cigarettes that'll kill you 10 times faster and give you cancer. Because the nicotine doesn't give you cancer, it just makes, I need another hit.
He's holding
It's
an
like
imaginary
weed.
paper.
Huh?
He's holding an imaginary paper, by the way.
Oh, I'm just... I'm off screen, leave me alone. I'm just doing my random
Like, you were like
hand
holding your
gestures.
finger like this, and like I was like looking over and like, how does it look like on film?
We need to zoom back in here. There we go. I'll just do this, and if you can see it, good. This is my goofiness. Welcome to the show.
Someone's gonna comment on it in the future and be like, in that one episode, it's like he was holding his, what was he doing with his fingers? So I had to be like, by the way.
We can't see anything. Shh, we'll get a better camera later. Or I'll just get another phone that's like freaking... Dude, I went and looked at Walmart. It's like $40 for a little crap phone that's got almost the same damn equipment as mine.
Yeah.
And it's basically, okay, just set it up. Okay. No, we need to... Okay. Move it over here. Drop it down. Adjust it so that way you can see all of me. Okay, now we're going to take off our shirts and work out. Which ladies are ready for that? So that's my end goal. What do you think?
Yes, if you
You're a hairy son of a bitch. I know, but do you like it?
if you vote him in as governor, and then me, of course, as his lieutenant, the guy who backs him up and stuff. But if you vote him as governor, he'll be their first buff governor. Just so you know. I don't know if the last guy was buff or anything. He didn't seem buff. He seemed like the guy who just kind of goes into board meetings.
He's the
like,
dad bod.
Yeah.
He's the dad bod. I want to be the dad bod with a a 6 to 8 pack. I'm like, nah, that's my goal, 6 to 8 pack. Will you ever get it? We'll see in 10 years. Yeah, right before I leave governor office. Look, I got my 8 pack, people. Have fun.
Yep. He's also a Dragon Ball Z enthusiast, so if you like Dragon Ball
Oh,
Z
yeah.
and animation things,
Dragon Ball Z. I didn't really get big into Sailor Moon, but I watched like the first 2 or 3 seasons when I was growing up. Because that stuff came out. It's kind of like my mom always talks about Doctor Who.
yeah.
Came out on PBS when she was a kid. And it was like 2 or 3 years behind.
Yeah.
And there just went my phone. Okay.
Yeah. We're still
That's
recording.
fine, we're still recording. But the thing was, that's how I found out and watched my first episodes of DBZ and Sailor Moon, because it was that Saturday morning. This is local broadcasting, but shh, don't tell nobody, it's anime. So wait, anime, what is this?
Yeah.
And there was one, and I don't even know if anybody's old enough or even remembers this or even watched this, because I lost it like freaking 2.5 seasons in, because I came out here to visit my Aunt Shirley, and you've met her.
Yep.
I came out here to spend the summer with her, because we're going to Utah to see family that we never see. It's like, okay, what? But my show!
Yep.
Yeah, trying to watch it out here compared to in Oklahoma, the time difference and how early it came on in the morning. Oh, that sucked. But it was called Ronin Warriors.
Yeah.
It was basically, what's the easiest way to explain it? 3 like samurai knights, because they had armor.
Mhm.
Each one was a different color. You had the good guys supposedly, and then you had the bad guys. And because each one had a different color,
Yeah.
they were different elements. Like one was light, one was, the bad guy version was basically the darkness. I love that. I am the darkness. You want cuddles? But I am still the darkness. It's like, it does it in the cute voice. But my thought on that, though, go back to the Ronin Warriors. They found out halfway through that the red guy was basically, essentially, with 4 of the other samurai knights, he turns into the gold. Basically, Ultra Instinct Ninja Knight.
Yes.
Samurai Ninja Knight is like, I like that. Because Ronin Warriors are samurais. Why do I keep saying ninja?
I don't know.
Japan, same shit. Slightly different. One's
Yeah,
a knight, one's just, I'm going to kill you while you sleep. Nobody will see me. But but they found out because the big baddie who was basically brought the bad guys up and helped train them to become Ronin warriors for the essentially the dark side.
Mhm.
They came to find out because 1 or 2 of them said, oh, we need to help because he's actually a dick and trying to kill us all. And he still became the white, all-powerful freaking Ronin warrior. I'm like, that's badass. So the bad guys are going to be good guys, or they're going to be anti-heroes, like Wolverine. I'm down.
Yep.
But Wolverine's always been like my favorite Marvel one.
Yeah,
'Cause
Wolverine
he's the
is-
anti-hero. He's like, fuck you, I'm going to do it my way. Where's my goddamn cigar?
Yeah, Wolverine was like literally one of the first superheroes, or at least X-Men, that I ever ran into as a kid. At least that I
Right.
recognized as an X-Men and recognized as a superhero. Because before, I'd always watch the X-Men cartoons and didn't know what the hell I was watching because I was still on my Pokemon fix, and then I was still watching Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. What's funny is A New Hope was the first story, but I never watched that one a whole lot. I always watched Empire or Return of the Jedi for some stupid reason. But I watched those two.
If I ever watched one, I tried to
and-
watch all 3 at the same time.
Yeah,
But that's my weirdness.
Yeah, and so when it came to superheroes growing up as a kid, and we're talking like ages 6 to 9, my dad took us to a swap meet one time, and we went, me and my brother, and we went to swap meet, and we got like a Weapon X action figure of Wolverine, where he's like
Nice.
wearing like
Oh,
the
yeah,
visor, and he's got like and it like flips up and then down and stuff, and he's got like the
Yeah,
shields
all
on
the
his
little wires sticking
yeah.
in. Oh, I
yeah,
love
and then he
that
has like
one.
the shields on his hands basically.
I
where
had that
he's
one
like,
too.
and then like they come out and stuff.
I had that one, yeah. I know exactly which one
Yeah,
you're talking about.
so I got
love that one.
got that action figure, put it on my dresser. Didn't know what the hell it was. I just knew it was Wolverine, and so I put it up on my dresser, and I thought it would look super cool. And then I started looking up Wolverine, started watching the cartoon episodes that were more Wolverine focused, and he quickly became one of my favorite superheroes because he was kind of like independent while still being with the team. And so he was kind of like his own person, and I dug that as a kid because I was like, I go off and do my own thing, and I can jazz with that.
Right.
And he was also tough. Like, he was a tough son of a bitch. And then you've got Spider-Man, who is the other independent one, who's still part of a team occasionally, but he's still doing his own thing. And so I kind of like jazzed with that. So those were my two favorite superheroes growing up.
Yeah.
What was your favorite superhero of all time aside from Wolverine? Or supervillain?
Villain? Joker.
Joker.
Just because he's the sadistic asshole who's completely normal. It's the, he should be in the nut house. No, he's going to kill everybody and smile while doing it. I kind of connect with that guy because he's completely nuts, but yet he wants to kill everybody without killing everybody. No, you all need to smile, you sourpusses. They smile so much, they're dead. Oh shit. I like that side effect. I'm a serial killer. I'm like, okay, I like that. But that's where I also like Batman.
Yeah.
Normal asshole, works out all the time. Thinks he's badass as hell because I know how to take care of everybody. But yet he's also an idiot because he keeps throwing them all in the loony bin, but they keep getting out. So, okay, something's wrong in the system in that scenario already. And then he thought Superman was evil because he's got superpowers. He's a metahuman. Actually, he's not a metahuman. Motherfucker just came from somewhere else. He's like Goku.
Yeah, see, I never, like, rationalized with his hate towards Superman. I mean, aside from the fact that he's a Boy Scout, you know, he's that guy who's, you know, it's funny because Batman has a lot more money than Clark Kent, but yet Clark Kent has more superpowers than Batman. So they're kind of like a perfect metaphor and current, like, perfect, like...
Yin and yang?
Yeah, like, they're like a perfect parallel to each other. And so I never really understood why Bruce Wayne, a.k.a. Batman, never liked Clark Kent. Like, as
Superman,
yeah, because of the fact that he's like an alien and stuff. So when I watched the Batman,
well, it's the thing. Well, if I can do it and I don't have superpowers, what the hell do you need superpowers? Dude, I didn't ask for these superpowers. I just got them, so I use them to fix everything. Dude, you break half the city. Shut up, jackass. You do. Your bad guys break half the city before you catch them. Shut up.
so
well, that's how I always see the dynamic. Superman, superpowers. His bad guys have superpowers, so he has to beat the shit out of them. He ends up destroying half the city. But the city fixes it for free and doesn't send him a bill. It's like, are y'all that stupid? Yep. And then Batman, he tries to stop the bad guys from destroying the city, but while trying to stop them, or before he can find out where they're next going, or even if he does, sometimes, they still end up taking out half the people they're trying to kill, or just hurt somebody. Okay, I gotta go take them out now because they're hurting people. It's like, but you won't use a gun. You'll just throw them in the loony bin. They're going to break out in 6 months, and then you're going to chase them that game. Dude, just kill them. No offense. Quit being a pussy. But my parents were killed by a gun. Then don't use a gun. I'm sorry. If you have genius-level brain, and no offense, this is what I like and hate about his character. He's the one superhero that could be the best supervillain because the simple fact is he's figured out how to kill and destroy every other superhero who has superpowers.
Yeah.
Because he's a normal human. But it's that genius level insanity. It's like, dude, the Joker's the same as you. The Joker just wants to make everybody smile whether they want to or not. You just want to beat the crap out of everybody who's bad, but not use a gun because your parents were killed by a gun. Okay, well, there's so many chemicals in the world that you can kill somebody without using a gun. Why not just do it that way?
Well, the curious thing about Batman is that he's also obsessive compulsive. Like, if you really think about it.
How many Robins did he go through? 3 or 4?
Like 7.
Did he actually get up to 7? I lost count.
It was like 6 or 7. Because, like, you got, like, the one's the most memorable one, of course, is the one he became with Red Hood, Jason Todd. And then you've got Tim Drake, and then you've got a couple of the other ones. But he's obsessive compulsive, so that means that he is able to train his body to the absolute peak of his human physique for the regular human body, while being obsessive compulsive, which means that he's obsessed with working out to that point, as well as learning like 17 different scenarios in a combat fight, which is why everyone always says, oh, well, if Batman can't comes up with the plan beforehand, he could defeat anybody. And so that means that he must be obsessing, like beyond doing the laundry, beyond paying the bills, beyond showing at the board meetings. So it's just like...
He's got something to do. He got an Alfred. Hey, I make millions of dollars because the company's mine and I own it because It's got my name on it. Make sure you pay the bills, a-hole. I love you, though, my stepdaddy.
Yeah, it doesn't...
That's what it is. Love you, stepdaddy, pay the bills. I gotta go beat the shit out of bad guys.
And that's the thing, it's like, you've got this guy who's tending, like, he has his butler, tending to all that stuff, but he must be spending a lot of his time obsessing, like, unreasonably so, over how to defeat all these guys, just to send them to the same place and then have them break out. And so instead of, funding a lot of his money and a lot of tax dollars into Gotham to prevent them from going insane and prevent them from entering the same exact chasm of mental illness, and realistically speaking, Joker would have either caused everyone to go insane already, or he would have gotten rehabilitated at that point.
Have you seen the new comic that they came out with, the Jokers? 3 Jokers?
No. I know that Todd had them. Like, I know Todd got a hold of them.
I can buy it at Walmart. I saw it at Walmart the other day. I might have to buy that one for you.
Yeah, Todd had them, and I really badly wanted the heavy metal one. And then, like, there was a couple of them that I really wanted. Like, Todd got the whole of the heavy metal Batman comic as well as the 3 Jokers one. And I saw Todd have them, and Todd had them on his bed, and I was just like going, ha. And I got like having like ha ha, and then like.
But see, Wolverine was always my one. It's like, okay. The only thing I hated that they did the Wolverine was the Wolverine movie. The last one they did with the little girl.
Yeah.
That's always been a part of his mythos. He lives so long, they finally figure out how to clone him, but because it's like they described in the movie, the female tiger has 2 claws here, but the male tiger has the 3 claws here.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that makes sense. The adamantium is poison and killing. Since when, a-hole? I'm sorry, with his healing factor, and with as old as he is? Really? And the only thing I didn't like about the movies is they didn't do the one where he lost the adamantium and it just went back to his regular claws.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that right there would have been like, hell yeah.
The very end of that movie is what pissed me off the most, was when he dies.
He took the drug to give himself the amps.
And then it only lasted a certain amount of time, and then eventually, the adamantium was poisoning his body, and so his past self clone kills him. Like, I wasn't a fan of that. I wanted another story in which the girl, his daughter, and him had an actual adventure together again. Like, that would have been a cool thing. Like, it could have actually had more of a franchise that way, but they weren't going to do that because Hugh Jackman was done.
Well, but see, there was a way they could have done it where he still would have died, but it's like, okay, here's the story. They got away. Then guess what? Because they got away, jump forward 20 years, you pick a chick that looks similar to the chick that played the little girl, like her older sister or mom. His family all looks the same, 90% of the time. You look like your dad. No, I don't, asshole. I look like my mom. Shut up, you ain't got tits. Back to the subject. But, that's my randomness. But they could have, like, done the time jump like I've seen them do in other movies and other TV shows. And basically, what happens is he dies just of old age because his healing and keeping him young finally wore out, because that's eventually going to happen anyways.
Yeah.
But she'd be like, having his healing factor, she'd look like she was 16, 20. And he'd be like freaking 100 or something years old, and she's like 50 years old.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, him in the original X-Men movie when he came in, he was like freaking already like 200 years old.
200, yeah, thereabouts. Because he was born in the 1800s.
Give or take.
He was like born a kid in the 1800s, originally in the comic book.
Yeah, so he was 100 something because it came out in 99.
And they focused on that when they did Wolverine Origins. They showed like him being back then.
They kind of did that one a little screwy.
Yeah, because they didn't have carriages and shit like that. It was like back then, but not back then.
I like the story with, no, he's your half-brother as Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Which is yes and no, depending on which comic line you find, because on some of the stories, some of the original stories, it wasn't his brother, they were like cousins, I think, or some shit. And, yeah, it was, I mean, I like that dynamic they put in there, but the way they did it was kind of like, really? You're gonna do it that way?
Well, in the comic, the originally Wolverine Origins comic, he was his half-brother. Like, his dad had fucked, like, both chicks. Like, basically he was a half brother because his mom, the dad.
I don't remember that one because
The dad
I read the
got
ones
with-
most of it where he was already an adult, so they didn't go into the backstory until like I was in my 20s.
This backstory was published in the early 2000s, so like they
when
did another one. It was Wolverine Origins, and the cover of it literally is just his hand with like the claws starting to come out with blood coming out on the fingers.
Nice.
And so like that was the first Origins comic, and in the version that I saw there was this video. It was like done in like a video, like a comic video, where like there was voiceover narration while they were flipping through comic pages. So it was like watching a movie, but
Okay,
it's
so
not animated.
kind of like what Variant's channel does.
Yeah, kind of.
Because that's the one that's like the 3 Jokers. I'm like, okay, he's gonna do a video basically showing the comics. Okay, I'll watch.
That's essentially what it was with voiceover.
Uh-huh.
And so like, so I watched that back in like 2006-ish, 2007. I was 15, 16. It was like almost 15 years ago. But yeah, like I watched that back then, and that blew me away because I was like, wait a minute, Wolverine's mom was fucked by Sabretooth's dad. They're like half brothers. What? And like
it's the 1800s. We don't talk about our side bitches.
Yeah. So it's just like,
that's how I say it though. We don't talk about our side pieces.
Yeah, so it's just like, that was kind of like what it was, and it kind of blew me away, but then when they actually adapted some of that for the movies, and then on Logan, the very beginning, on his little dashboard it says James Howlett was like his name, I was like going, oh my god, they adapted Wolverine Origins kind of into this movie.
Yeah,
he
it's
was a
the
taxi driver.
Logan. James Howlett. I'm like, okay, where do we get Logan? I mean, I know where we get Wolverine, because that was part of his code name and
Yep.
Weapon X program. But where the hell does Logan come from, people? Hello, can anybody answer this?
So
Okay,
Logan,
it doesn't show any. No, I was saying while I was watching the movie, I'm like, it doesn't say anything about it anywhere. So he just decided. Okay, I know it comes
you
from
mean
somewhere.
in the form of like the movie adaptation, like
Yeah.
explaining in the
They
screenplay.
didn't put that in there. It's like, well, you suck.
Yeah, and it was really a name that because like his family, like his adoptive family, because that's how he was like half brother basically of Sabretooth.
Yeah.
His family adopted this girl, this redhead girl, and when his parents got killed by the drunk guy who turned out to be his dad, the family got killed by the dude, and so she runs with him because they have to run away. So they run off, and she ends up telling him that he has to change his name, and so he changes his name to Logan, and that's how it got changed in the comic, at least that comic variation. And so he changed his name from Logan to James to Logan, but it was James Howlett previously, and previously, before he gained his healing factor, he would get sick all the time.
Yeah, it's kind of that thing, or it doesn't activate until you have something traumatic. Well, if you're sick all the time and always in bed,
Yeah, he was
that's
cut.
so much trauma, your body's going to kick that crap in early. That's why it was so young when it kicked in.
Yeah, he was always in bed all the time, and then when he...
I remember that stuff.
And then when he was in bed, they were always kind of trying to nurse him and stuff, and then after the dad tried to kill the parents, and he did it in front of James, he had that very traumatic like experience that a kid normally has when your parents are getting killed by this savage drunk dude, and that's when his claws started coming out, and then they called him a monster because they got freaked out by it, and this is like before they died, and then he ends up stabbing the guy that it turns out to be his father, and then after he stabs the guy, the blood starts drops onto his fingers, and then his claws go right back in because he goes snicked, and then pulls them back in, and then after that he sees his fingers have healed, and he notices the bruisings have gone away just a bit, but it isn't like immediate. It's like a slow healing factor.
Well, yeah, because
and then
this
when
has never been instant. It's like, okay, depending on how bad the injury, depends on how
it's
long
sped
it takes
up.
to heal.
Like it's sped up in the comic. It's sped up like by issue 2 or 3 when they left to go to Canada to do the logging because they went to go to this logging site, and they went up to the logging, and so he got a job up there. He would do jobs and stuff at the logging site with the girl, and he started noticing as weeks went by that the bruisings and stuff that he kept getting from the job and from his traumatic experience went away, and he was no longer getting sick, and anytime that someone hit him or something, he would recover from it almost instantly. And so his healing factor started really kicking in and got to the point that we see in X-Men 1.
Well, that kind of makes me think of my goofiness with the way my brain works.
Yeah.
Pain! 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 Okay, turn off pain. Okay, you don't feel any pain. Let's go kill somebody or work out. Okay, let's go work out. Well, dude, because in the way I've seen certain people talk about certain things, it's like everybody has a psychopath. It's just whether or not you let them out. It's the whole, what series was it? It was a vampire series.
Yeah.
You can turn off your emotions. They adapted it and put it in Vampire Tales?
Vampire Diaries.
Diaries, thank you. Had a brain fart.
It's fine.
I'm Southern, it's called a brain fart, deal with the people. But, but I mean, it's the whole thing of that. You can turn it off if you want to. I've actually learned how to do that with emotions. I've actually learned how to turn off my emotions, turn off everything except for my body heat. I always burn it anywhere from 98 up.
Yeah.
Unless it's like freezing outside or I'm actually controlling my body temperature properly. Then I can hold my body temperature at a good 97.6.
Yeah.
Because I've done that at the plasma center. I'm like, alright, I need to drop my temp because I can tell my temp's high today.
Yeah.
Like the other day when me and Amber were running around doing the door dash stuff.
Yep.
I freaking ended up, because the one that took us to BFE and whatnot, I was so heated and just stupidity of it.
Mm-hmm.
I literally had to I'd already taken off my hat because it started to overheat, but I just like had Amber help me strip off my jacket. I'm like, just pull the arm out. Okay, I can drive. All right, ready? Okay, we're on a straight part. Pull it down. All right, pull it off. Because it was like stuck on my hand. She pulled it off. Throw it in the back seat. But that's where I've always had trouble. It's not healing, although that's supposed to slow down with this chakra Marie tooth. But I heal slower if it's like a bone break.
Yeah.
If it's like a bruise or a punch, simple stuff is like, okay, I'm done. Let's go back to work. That's like working out. The next day, oh, this hurts. Okay, stretch. Pop, snap, crack. It's, you wouldn't be able to see it in the camera, but it's the kick. I can feel my hip, my knee, and my ankle click, click, click. And depending on how bad the pain is and depending on how hard I kick.
Click it.
Yeah, well, how hard I kick to get the clicks.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone off so loud once. It sounded like a shotgun in the house. Bah! The hell was that? Oh, just me popping my hip. Hang on, I gotta do the other one. Same exact sound. Son of a... Did you break yourself? Nah, just popping stuff back into place. It's like, yeah. Because the weird part is, because when they took my x-rays when I was going to the Shriners Hospital in Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana.
Yeah.
This is your hip thing, and the part that goes around, mine's like here. Like,
yeah.
Sneeze! Ah, it's not attached. But I mean, I'm 38 and still running like I ain't got nothing. Well,
yeah.
Walking. I don't really run. If I ran, I'd either run somebody over or trip, kill myself, and the mother effer I'm running into. Now, I know that for a fact, because when I fall, something's breaking. Crunch! I broke something, my bad. Sorry, I'm a wrecking ball. I didn't mean to do it. That's just who I am. I break stuff on accident.
Yeah.
Okay, go do this. Dude, I touched it. It snapped in half. What did you do? I don't... It just broke. I don't break stuff on purpose. I just break stuff, okay?
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me. You should know this. Because there's been Teresa's recent complaint. You break stuff. I'm like, dude, I don't break anything on purpose. Because I gave a complaint because Connor fussed about, should I kick the trash can because I didn't clean the bathroom well enough? Because they didn't want them doing their Saturday cleanings because they take forever.
Yep.
They had them do them last night while I was gone doing DoorDash and whatever else I was doing. They didn't know. They don't care. But kind of got in a BS argument this morning. I'm like, well, you know what? Da 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 da. Will you break stuff, dude? Everything I break is on accident because I'm a wrecking ball and I can't control myself half the time. You've been married to me for coming up on 11 years. No, actually, we hit 11 years this year. So I'm sorry. You know I'm a wrecking ball. I cannot control it. Either I accidentally break it, or it breaks because I tripped and fell through it, or it was in the way and I fell on it because it was in the straight line path.
Yeah.
I have no choice. I don't do it on purpose. Well, she broke something that was a buckets of Dollar Tree thing. I'm like, I understand that. But the thing is, on purpose, not on purpose. I get more leeway because I don't do stuff on purpose. It just happens. That's like, I'm going to become governor. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not. How old are you? 29. Okay, when's your birthday? Oh, that's right. It's in August. It's right next to my daughter's. Okay. We're running for, well, I'm running for governor. You're running for lieutenant governor. We're just going to run this son of a gun. Fix the system. How are we going to fix the system? We'll figure it out when we get there. Or we'll get there. We're in. All right, now how the heck do we fix all this crap we don't like before we fix everything that we need to like? Plus, one of my things I want to do, I don't know how many people will like this, but we'll work on is legalize weed. Because if you legalize weed and tax it, not near as bad as tobacco, because I want to cut the tobacco tax to half in the state, but I tax the weed the same I do as the tobacco for actual municipal use, just smoking it at your house, but you can't smoke it while you're driving, because that's stupid.
Yeah.
It's a drug. But it comes from nature, dude. Everything comes from nature. Every drug and everything that you have in your house and your life has come originally from something else. And it all grew from Earth. So technically all this, it's not natural. Actually it is. They just freaking boiled it or cooked it or did something to it to make it new. Same thing. But anywho,
Yeah.
it's the thing of, if we make that legal, like the other states have made it legal, who actually have better income rate and have the money to pay for the more schooling, who can afford to do all the construction on the streets like we do now, but we really can't afford it as much as we're doing it because it cuts into schooling and doing other things that we need to do
Yep.
to bring cost of living down and all this other stuff to bring costs down. But if we make weed legal and tax it kind of like we do with the cigarettes, okay, then that's if you're just playing with it. Now, if you actually have a real medical reason, like insomnia, certain anxieties, and you're not already taking pills for it, because I'm sorry, if you're already popping pills, you gotta pick pills, pot.
Yep.
You gotta pick one. You can't have both, because then you're just trying to OD, because you'll be so freaking high on the weed, you'll end up ODing because your body system isn't ready to take the drugs to help with anxiety.
There are certain pills that you have to avoid taking while smoking. Like, for instance,
Well, I've heard so many studies that
acetaminophen, and you can do
that one.
Aleve, and you can do like some of those other ones while under the influence of marijuanas. But there are certain other drugs that you shouldn't be able to have to take while smoking the reefer. So if you smoke it or you take pills with the reefer in it, because I know that in Colorado they have different ways of taking the drug now. But there are certain drugs that they've warned against that don't mix with the green, and so you take it off of Schedule 1.
I mean, for people like me with a disability,
Yeah.
they're right there's your painkiller. I mean, because 90% of the government stuff, because if you need it for painkiller for my disability, because even though I work out like a freaking goddamn weightlifter, you've said it enough times,
Yep.
is the thing of, I work out like that, it hurts. If I work out like that, I go to sleep, or I smoke pot before I go to sleep, or smoke it when I wake up in the morning, then it's instant painkiller. I'll be able to run through my day without being in pain, and then I can go do a just as hard workout, so that way my disability doesn't completely destroy me and make me incapable of doing anything.
Yeah.
That's why I work out so much. So that way I'm not completely useless, and basically I'm the sloth sitting there in basically an electric wheelchair going, I can't walk, I can't do anything, this sucks.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that guy, because for one, I wouldn't be able to come see you and Judy, or half of my family, because it's get out of the car, I got to get to their house, and this time of year in Utah, no. Oh, that's the other thing I want to fix. How they do the plowing. But, actually I've noticed, I don't know if it's because the new mayor for Clearfield or somebody else
Layton,
somewhere in City
Davis
Hall.
County.
Well, I don't know if it's Davis County or just Clearfield, because I know each city has it different.
Yeah.
Ann Street used to not get plowed at a decent time or decent, whatever. The funny part was, Nephi was saying that it was crappy out Thursday.
Yeah.
Basically the day right after the snow came in at night. And he said the roads were hell. And he's got a car, I think it's like a year or two younger than mine.
Mm-hmm.
And he was having trouble. I mean, one, he had bald tires, which he just got fixed yesterday. But even without that, the roads were crap. And I'm like, you know what's funny? I would put the kids to bed, sitting in the front room. Been about half an hour to an hour after they went to bed. Turned on the TV, and I see a snowplow come by. And then like 5-10 minutes later, I see it come by again. I'm like, you decided to wait till nighttime to do it. No, that's actually smart, because then they don't have to worry about the melt and the ice that's there.
Yeah.
They just get it and it clears the roads. I actually love that idea. That's great. But can we like possibly do that, but also in the opposite direction? Do it at 5 o'clock in the morning. Have your guys start at 4 o'clock in the morning, because it's a big city, and do all the streets, the back streets, the good streets, the main streets, do all the streets.
Yeah.
So that way, it's decent enough for the people who got to go to work at 6 o'clock in the morning and crap, it snowed, I'm going to have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and shovel my driveway to go to work. No, they come out, oh, I just have to shovel my driveway. I don't have to worry about driving slow and have to leave now for work. I can actually shovel my driveway at a decent pace and not kill myself.
Yeah.
Because I know that happens too. It's the... Dude, because... Was it 2 days ago? No, my phone's dead, so I can't check it. It was,
2 days ago would have been the 18th.
Well, it'd be 3 days now, because we're on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Thursday.
Yeah, it was... That's what I'm talking about. Thursday. Because Connor was... He went and did, snow shoveling for a few of the neighbors. He made some money. Good job, dude. But the other thing was, I was trying to teach him, okay, do this. Okay, this is how we do this. To, improve his skills. So that way when he goes, people will like him and be like, hey, Connor, will you come shovel my driveway when it snows next time?
Yeah.
And I had to go inside to make lunch for him and Nikki. And they didn't, or he didn't, finish it. It's like, and then the wife comes home, you didn't do it. Dude, I did half of it. I had Connor do the other half. I'm trying to teach him how to do it properly. And this was a conversation we had this morning, actually, before she took the kids off to do Christmas shopping. And I basically got told, well, it seems like you're trying to make him do all of your work that, your yard work or house, the stuff you do outside. I'm like, no. How old is he? He's 10. That's the age you need to start learning how to mow the lawn, shovel the driveway, because if you don't get it taught to you now, when you're not all, I don't know how to do it. Here's $10 to the first kid that comes to the door, $20, do it for me. No. You need to learn how to do it yourself until you get too old, then it's like, shut up, here's the money because I'm too old and don't give a crap. Hey, look, you're 10, just like I was when I started shoveling driveways for money. I'll give you 10 because I used to do it for 5. But, no. I don't care how much everything costs. You ain't wasting no gas. You ain't mowing the lawn. You just shoveling here. That's why I told Connor to do it for $5 because, I mean, 1, that's cheap. 2, he's still young. So, everybody like, oh, that's cute, $5. Okay, here's $5, do it.
Yep.
That's how I made most of my money because I was like, I was 8 I was 9 going to 10 when I started mowing lawns during the summer, talking to the neighbors.
Yeah.
Walking all up and down like a 3 to 4 blocks in both directions and 2 blocks this way and back.
Yeah.
And then going on the street in between all the streets. to mow people's lawns for freaking $10.
I remember doing that. I was military housing. I was learning.
But this was on the regular streets, but I mean that was back in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So $10 to mow your lawn, dude, that's cheap. Here, it's cheaper than paying the guy who runs around and mows everybody's lawn and drags his lawnmower all across town, who charges me $15. I save about $5. I'm gonna go get me a beer or soda, depending on the person in the house.
Yeah. Well, when I was, 7 or 8 years old, whenever you made $5, $10, that was a big fucking deal, especially since minimum wage still hasn't changed, and it was like $7.25.
No. Back then it was.
I believe it was like
$5.25.
Yeah, $5.25. So you're looking at an hour's worth of work.
When you were that age, when I was that age, it was like $4.
Yeah. So, if you were mowing lawns at that age and you got $5 out of it, that's like $1 increase. So you get like $1 bonus on your wage for doing like an hour and a half.
Well, I
work.
always charge everybody $10 because it's like, okay, $10. Just for the simple fact is, gas is, I think at the time it was like $1.25, $1.50 a gallon.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I have this. This is my gallon. I just filled it up. You're gonna pay me $10 because if I have to fill up that more than once to fill up your yard, it's gonna cost me $2 in that. I'm doing the labor, so you're gonna pay the taxes for labor.
Yeah.
Because I always went with my mom to the mechanic. And whenever me and Teresa's like, we don't want to take them to the mechanic, they'll be bored. Can we leave them with you? Dad, you always went to the mechanic. Dude, that's because you worked all day.
Yeah.
I didn't have a choice, and by the time Mom was going to the mechanic to do that sort of stuff, I was old enough to sit there and not twiddle and da-da-da-da-da. But, I mean, this was like 2-3 years ago. It's like, Connor's not old enough yet, dude. He's not there. Because I was 9, 10 when I was doing that.
Yeah.
At that age, ooh, what are they doing? Ooh, how do you do that? Ooh, cars, let's look. That was my mentality. So let's actually see what goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how you do an oil change.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up. Either you looked or you asked, and if you didn't get taught, shit, I don't know how to do that. And now being an adult, even with my disability, it's like, I know I can do some of this, but I can't do some of it because of the way my disability affects my hands. I have no grip. I can't do certain things. So I have to pay other people to do it. Which sucks because that eats away at your money, and if you ain't got money, you're basically eating a nothing sandwich, and it sucks.
Yeah.
Which goes back to me about, eat a lot of food, I lose weight.
What's funny is I, for the longest time growing up, I would just sit at the table and eat food, and as I was sitting at the table, I was burning weight. Like, just sitting there. Like,
right? When you're skinny, that's what you do.
Yeah.
But the funny part is everybody's like, you eat too much. No. You need to lower your calories, but at the same time, eat twice as much. There are certain recipes and certain foods you will eat what looks like twice as much, but it's half the calories as the regular meal or the pre-made meal because of all the preservatives and whatnot.
Yeah.
And you end up saving so many calories more than what you burn on a regular basis. I burn like 700-800 calories a day just from sitting on my butt doing nothing. When I'm actually doing stuff, I burn like 1,000 calories a day. Okay, so I eat 15,000 calories. Why? Because I usually work out, and that burns like freaking anywhere from 5 to 2,000 calories, depending on how hard the workout, and depending on if I got cardio in that day, because my legs were feeling good enough.
Yep.
That's the only thing that I want to kick these guys before. No, we're not doing cardio. Shut up, asshole. I need to burn the extra 300-400 calories. Why? Because I'm not skinny like you. Shut up. No offense to my brother. He's like half an inch taller than me.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, okay, so I've shrunk from 5'10" to about 5'9", 5'9 and a half. Damn it. Go away from...
Yeah, the
flies attacking me.
Okay, so about this summer, about June, July, this flies got really bad. Just letting you guys know. Guys got really bad, and it was to the point where...
Everywhere.
Yeah, it was to the point where when I was in the kitchen, like downstairs and everything, I was in the kitchen because we're upstairs. was in the kitchen, and there was like 17 flies just flying around. And when I was working in the bedroom in my other office, and I was sitting on my desk and I was taking calls or I was doing floor support or whatnot, I'd have like 6 flies all around my head nonstop. And so then I saw like the commentary on Mike Pence and like the fly on his head and stuff, and they're like, you could tell it's trash or whatever. I'm like, what's this about me? The flies kept flying around everywhere. And then fucking I went into the bathroom and there was flies everywhere. You could sit on the toilet and you'd be like just sitting there doing your business, whatever you were doing, and then all of a sudden you'd have like 10 flies surrounding you. You're just like, go away. And so we're lucky we've only got 2 flies that have bugged us.
Right?
This summer and early fall, it was like 20. And I was sitting there going around with the fly swatter going, I'm going to kill you. Trying to kill them all. And as I was killing them, they were replicating. Like, it was like they were multiplying. So the next day there'd be 30. And
you should have told me. I would have told you a way to fix it.
Yeah,
I had a way.
It was bad. Like, we were trying to kill them. And so recently we had a bug problem. Yeah.
You put you basically, like, you're gonna eat a banana, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just take off like the top quarter, toss it in there, put saran wrap over the top, screw the lid on, poke like 2 or 3 holes with like literally a sewing needle or a safety pin.
Yeah.
Sewing pin. You put like 3 or 4 holes, and when they're small and babies, before they grow up and get all in your crap, they'll climb in there. And while the banana's molding in the jar,
yeah,
you will literally, by the time you're done, you won't be able to see anything because it'll just be covered, the whole jar, with dead gnats. Hey,
do that.
it's a hack that actually works. I've been using it for years.
Yeah, we need to do that.
I didn't even
eventually.
think about that, or I'd have said something to you about that.
Yeah, we would have instantly had like 3 of them lying around. And I would have had,
one
like,
upstairs, one downstairs,
one
in
on
the
my
kitchen,
one on my desk, my work desk, one in the kitchen, as you're saying, the one up here in the loft.
and that'd cover it all.
Yeah, we might have even had one in the bathroom too.
No,
Just
they'll smoke
because.
to it because
Yeah.
of the sweet smell of the bananas
Yeah.
getting ripe and going brown.
Yeah.
They love that smell, dude. Even the big ones, they're like, I can fit in the hole. Dude, it's tiny. I don't care.
So this is your future governor, a guy who has life hacks with bananas and other stuff to kill flies.
Random things.
Yep, and then like you've seen as he's seen, he like bounces around between topics and like just bounces around. So if like I were to have to cut this video into like parts for YouTube or something for like, you know, just to show sections, I'd have to like be like, okay, in this section we bounce between 20 topics. In this section we bounce between 50. And if you were to play a drinking game and go, okay, just take a shot every time he changes the topic, you'd probably die within the first 10 minutes.
No, they'd be shit for the video stream or video. No, but back on the fly thing, there's also another hack on that. You know how you can get from the church, and I know they also sell them at Walmart and some of the other stores. It's the orange spray, the orange cleaner spray.
Mm-hmm.
Spray them with that. It gets their wings wet, they drop, but because of the orange, the way it affects the flies, it'll kill them too.
Nice.
Well, we were talking about life hacks and whatnot, so I figured throw that one in there since we were talking about killing flies.
Yeah, you want to keep going? It's been 2 hours.
No, actually, I think I need to go to bed.
All right, so just to wrap this up, we've talked about a range of topics. We've talked about Batman, Wolverine, talked about Joker, talked about government, talked about healthcare a little bit. We could go into that more later. Talked about education. We've talked about so many things just in one episode. So, what we'll talk about more next time is we'll talk about more about storytelling. We'll talk more about, what he's doing with his stories, what I'm doing with mine, and we'll kind of go more into, like, the fantasy story stuff. Because I know that you're kind of interested in the whole governor aspect, but I know that's going to be something that you're going to be like, okay, I'm done hearing about it. So we'll kind of flex around them. We'll figure out different things to talk about, and then if you guys have anything that you guys want us to talk about, let us know in the comments. And let us know about stuff, and we'll look at it and kind of see what we can put on the drawing board. And sometimes we'll listen to it. Sometimes we'll just make stuff up as we go. It's just us, playing around. And as we said, it's the CrazyPs. And I'm Thomas Paxton.
I'm Ned Out.
It's the CrazyPs. And I'm Thomas Paxton.
I'm Tim Potter.
And that.